But we'll start with the Chicago Bulls trying to avoid elimination here in Milwaukee, minus 12 and a half, under 217 and a half, or over 217 and a half for a total there. And, I say the Bulls trying to avoid elimination, but no Lonzo Ball, no Alex Caruso, no Zach LaVine, a lot of Ayo Dosunmu, and it seems like it's going to be tough here for the Bulls to beat this Bucks team, even without Chris Middleton. So, Josh, what do you think here? I mean, is there any positivity about the Bulls? I mean, can you talk me out of a Bucks bet?
Probably not for a full game. I mean, here I am sitting on a first half Bulls ticket though, so I'll try and sell you on that if nothing else. But one thing we've seen from Milwaukee, basically under Coach Budenholzer, is a clear pattern in how they sort of play through series. They start slow, they finish really strong. But the one thing that sort of stood out to me when you're looking back at those games is the first half, when they have a team in an elimination situation, they're pretty sluggish. They don't necessarily come out at their best. These elimination teams are able to sort of go into halftime either with a lead or within one possession. They did that all through last season. They did that the season before as well, or 2 seasons before, excuse me, discounting the bubble. But I'd like to think that the Bulls at least hang around for the first half of this one as well and sort of follow that trend, just given the way that Milwaukee execute things. And it's in the second half where I think they really put separation between them, especially given the talent disparity in this game with, like you said, Caruso out, LaVine out, and obviously Lonzo Ball not taking part in the series. It'll start to show as the game wears on. In the early goings, maybe we see enough life from Chicago, which I'm hoping for, that they can stay within a couple of possessions. A plus 7.5 first half is a pretty big line, in my opinion. Obviously, a 12.5 is a huge line in an elimination game as well. But given, like you said, the injuries that they're dealing with, it makes total sense there. So the one problem I think for Chicago offensively is the Bucks seem to have really figured things out defensively in this series. They are having no problem at all stopping Chicago from getting to their spots, shutting down DeMar DeRozan. I think Wes Matthews has actually done a terrific job there. Drew Holiday was doing a terrific job as well on Zach LaVine. I don't see how any of that sort of changes. Maybe, like I said, the fact that it's a different lineup, they have something to work through in that first half, but ultimately they will work it out. And, come the second half, third and fourth quarter, they should put quite some margin between them. So I am hoping that the Bucks win so I can get this series ticket done. But I think the first half, I'm riding with the Bulls plus 7.5 here and hoping that we again see the same Milwaukee we usually do against teams facing elimination, where it's a little bit sluggish and slow in that first 24 minutes.
Yeah, I like what you said about the different lineup and how it's more difficult for the Milwaukee Bucks to prepare. They weren't really maybe thinking about facing this lineup. And I think we can thread this needle here a little bit, Josh, because I like the plus 7.5, and that would be good if it was kind of an ugly game. You look at last night, all 3 games go under, but more specifically, I look at this series, the Bulls scored 114 points in game 2, and the other 3 games, they scored 81, 86, and only 95 points. And totals in north of 100 here at 102 and a half. I'm happy to grab a team total under. Again, we've seen in these situations these games could really be grinds, but I think you can get your plus 7.5, and I think I can get my team total under here if it's kind of an ugly start. Chris, how do you see this game?
Yeah, this is it would be tough for me to play on the Bulls here, just because, I mean, alluding to what Josh said and what you're saying, Alex, I like the team total play a lot. I mean, obviously the Bulls now without LaVine and Caruso, if nothing else, those 2 players are big time spark plugs for Chicago. So where's the energy going to come from? It just feels like the superior defense that the Bucks have been playing. The Bulls with an offensive rating of 88 in the past 2 games, which, like, if they played that way during the season, that would be historically low. The Bucks, excuse me, are just having, it just feels like they're having an easy time. And now without LaVine and Caruso, they should just be able to double team DeRozan, make life difficult for him, put Giannis on Vucevic, and it's a wrap. I don't know if the Bulls can hang with this Milwaukee Bucks defense the way they're playing. Obviously, Drew Holiday stepping up, scoring more points. Josh, maybe he was listening to you because you called him out, I think, after game 2. And, he stepped up right away. But the bench of the Bucks too, big time stepping up on that side too, just playing complete team basketball. So I don't know. It'd just be really hard for me to look at the Bulls in any position here, and we know these double-digit favorites a trend here since 2016. They cover at a rate of 58% if they are double-digit favorites, so 10 points or more in the playoffs. This just feels like one of those spots, even on the road, right? This is on the road, right? Yeah. Wait, is this? No, this is
It's in
at the
Milwaukee.
Bucks. What am I talking about? So that's even worse. Yeah, that's even worse for Chicago. After those two straight gut punches in Chicago, now they have to go to Milwaukee. I mean, my goodness, I can't look at any other side than the Bucks here. I'd be afraid of some props in this game though, because it could be a situation where a lot of players start to sit in the second half if they blow them out in the first half. But to Josh's point, 7.5, that's a lot of points in a playoff game in one half of basketball. And the Bucks have basically played really well in one quarter in the first half and let the Bulls hang around in one of those other quarters. So if that happens, the Bulls can certainly keep pace, but I just don't like a lot. I mean, we're going to see a lot more Colby White and Desanmu in this game, and they have been awful together when they're on the court. So there's not a lot I can trust in the Bulls tonight.
Makes perfect sense, and I didn't get a chance to double check my source, but I believe Game 2 of this series is the first time the Bulls have beaten the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis on the court in about 3 or 4 years. So I don't think they're going to double that total tonight. It looks like a nice spot for the Bucks, but the official bets Josh is going to grab the Bulls here in the first half. Again, I like that handicap. It should be a slow start there, and I'll take the Bulls team total under 102.5.